tell you a couple things. One, I was very intimidated by him, just his appearance when I saw him, I'll be honest. But he's got a huge heart, so don't let him fool you. And the other thing is he's a Marine and a nurse, so he can kill you or he can fix you, one of the two. But I'd like to introduce Rodney. Come on up.
Testes. Man, if anybody would have told me I'd be here right now doing my lead 2 years ago, I'd have called them a liar. My name's Rodney, hardcore alcoholic, drug addict, depressed, ADD, and go on and on. But anyway, I like the lyrics, old lyrics of an old ZZ Top song. As I was born, my papa's son, when I hit the ground, I was on the run. And how true is that for me? But I just wanted to start out with a few little phrases. They were like little words of wisdom. Sometimes you hear them in AA. They're true. Number one, if you find yourself in a hole, quit digging. 2, life is easier when you plow around the stump. Number 3, forgive your enemies. It messes with their heads. When you waller with pigs, expect to get dirty. If you think you're a person of influence, try ordering someone else's dog around. Letting the cat out of the bag is a whole lot easier than trying to put it back in. If it doesn't seem worth the effort, it probably isn't. And last but not least, I like this one, never miss the chance to shut up. Like I said, I'll be 57 here in a few months. Born in Bremen, about 25 miles southwest of here. Lived there a few years. I was always getting in trouble. I don't know, I was walking, I don't think my sister was yet, but I think I got a wiffle ball bat for a present and I beat the piss out of her with that. So I probably had some jealousy issues. I think I was probably about 3. I had my first real drink. I guess we had a medicine cabinet, door would stick on it, but somehow I climbed up there, got the door open, took a big swig, but it was liquid Lysol. So wound up going to ER with that, and just one thing after another. After that, moved to Detroit, suburb of Detroit. Started school 4 years old. First day of kindergarten, I spilled black paint all over my kindergarten teacher's new dress. I was constantly getting notes out, sent home from school. Wouldn't sit still, always talking, messing around. Actually, I kind of remember I tried to forge a note for my mom. I got a note sent home and parents supposed to reply back, so I tried to, and that ain't gonna work when you're 4 or 5 years old. Got busted doing that. After that, moved to Ohio. 3rd grade, I started getting D's. I don't know, something was wrong. Couldn't ever sit still in class. Back then, I mean, teachers would beat you. I think every year in grade school, I was, out in the hall, bend over, grab your ankles. We got a big old board and get 3 or 4 whacks. And I couldn't even tell you what for. But I do have some of my old report cards and never sit still in class, always talking, disturbing others. Definitely ADD. I mean, that was before there was even a diagnosis for it back in the 60s. When I was about 10 or 12, we was in Ohio. Things seemed pretty normal, I guess, somewhat up till then. Did the Little League, was involved with sports and stuff, but between 12 years old, I was being molested by a neighbor dude. It was a secret I kept for about 30 years. When I was 12, well, my old man, Dad, he was a pilot, commercial pilot, flew government contracts all over. He'd always take me along with him, so I'd sit on his lap, fly these big 4-engine airplanes, and he was in a bad plane wreck up in Alaska, I think back in '72. Everybody lived, he applied jet fuel and stuff up in the Arctic Circle. But I went all the way up there by myself when I was 12. I was supposed to meet so-and-so here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and another dude in Boise, Idaho, and Dad had connections, and I wound up in Anchorage. That was pretty awesome. I got up into the Arctic Circle, little Eskimo villages. But Dad, he knew the owner of this bar, and he had this cabin probably an hour and a half outside of Anchorage. Only way to get there was by seaplane. There wasn't any roads or anything going there, completely wild. I mean, there's grizzly bear trails, you'd see tracks like this, you'd see moose across the lake every morning, huge beaver dams. I mean, there's a boat, outhouse, there's a radio, and parents flew out there with us for a week. There's, I think, 5 of us kids. The oldest one was 15. Parents were with us for a week, and they all took off, man, and went back to Anchorage, left us 5 kids out there for a week ourselves. You know, we had a radio and kind of did what we wanted. They left a full liquor cabinet there, though. You know, so we got into that, and that was the first time I ever really got drunk. I mean, I guess I thought I was having a good time. People were laughing, and I guess I kind of felt accepted. I always felt like I was always on the outs. After I got back from Alaska that summer, Dad, he was a disabled vet. He was always involved with not the American Legion, VFW, and I guess I grew up on bar stools, playing shuffleboard and playing pool when I was a little kid. That wasn't so much taboo back then. Had a paper route, I remember. I'd get up at like 4 in the morning. Sometimes Dad would come with me. He'd have a 6-pack of beer, and I'd be driving around out in the country, you know, 3-on-3 in the truck, you know, while he was drinking. After the divorce, Mom and Dad got divorced. We had to decide on who we wanted to go with. Me and my sister went with Dad, and we was up to South Bend. That was a different experience for me. I mean, an inner city school, sorta. Never really lived anywhere long enough to really get to know anybody, because we was always on the move. Went a semester to Jackson, moved to Lakeville, went a semester at LaVille, moved again, started off in Bremen, kind of got back where my roots were. Dad, he was hardcore alcoholic, full of a lot of guilt, regrets, and he used to take me to AA meetings with me, and I know I can kind of see him somewhat now in some of the meetings I go to. By this time, I was a super pissed teenager. I mean, I had a lot of baggage going on already. I hated my old man because he was drunk all the time. I wished he'd die. Blamed Mom for divorce. Blamed Dad for things. I was blaming everybody. And with my old man, I pretty much did what I wanted to when I was 14, 15. Things wasn't working out with Dad, so I moved in with Mom. She's a single mom, raising 4 kids. She worked nights. She'd go to work and the party'd start. You know, I can't believe she tolerated me. I mean, she's an awesome woman. But she had all these rules I needed to follow, and I mean, I was too out of control. I'd take off, I'd be gone for, I think, sometimes a week, or I'd wind up in Kentucky, and I was 15. Didn't go to school, started smoking weed when I was 15, I think, and that was the first time where I felt like I found what I wanted. You know, I mean, I felt good, and I just loved it. You know, I'd say, I'll never be an alcoholic. You know, I got weed, you know. Never say never. You know, I'd always say, I'll never be like my old man, and here I am. I noticed when I wasn't high or when I wasn't smoking, I'd be irritable, big time. You know, grouchy, pissed off. And I mean, once I got high, I was good. Wanted to quit school when I was 15. I had a good full-time job. I was making more than my mom was as an RN at the time. Had a place to live. Had a job in a factory. Lied on my application, said I was 18. So, I mean, I was working. But, I mean, I wasn't gonna be able to quit school. I mean, that's when, I guess, Mom put her foot down. And, I mean, I was incorrigible. I was off and running wild, and she was gonna make sure I went to school. So I was taken to court and given 3 years probation, and I was going to jail all the time. Back then, man, if you was under 18 and you was out past 11 o'clock, they'd pick you up, they'd take you to jail. I mean, I can't even count how many times that happened. But during the 70s, it was all about drugs and going to concerts and sex, and I was doing acid daily. I was selling 100 hits of acid a week, pounds of weed, Quaaludes, you name it. Parties every weekend, lots of drinking, binge drinking, and we had open lunch hours back then. And me and a buddy of mine, we'd walk home to his mom and dad's, at lunch hour, and we'd see who could take the most swallows off a half-gallon bottle of Seagram, just binge drinking. And we'd get 12, 13 swallows. I mean, and that was like poison. I mean, we'd walk half block, we'd be falling down, and people brought guns to school, and I mean, that's just what it was about back then. I mean, with the crowd that I ran with anyway. I was always in trouble, lived in detention, cussing teachers, leaving school, on and on. After I was put on probation, a month after that, got busted for carjacking. Nowadays, I'd have been tased and beaten senseless, I'm sure. I wound up with a total of 6 years probation. And gosh, I think I got all my alcohol offenses before I was 21. I think one time, me and a buddy of mine, I think we got a case of beer and a fifth of Jack, and I was going to drop some girlfriend's clothes off. She got taken away, and went to Goshen, got a leaving the scene of personal injury, DUI, driving while suspended, no insurance. Then you didn't need insurance back then. A buddy of mine, he got an assault, the public intox. I mean, out of control. It was probably 1 or 2 in the morning. I didn't even have to back up to go around him. Got a couple blocks away, he was throwing stuff out the window, and went to jail again. After that, I knew I had to do something, or I was going to jail for a long time. I just wasn't on the right road. When I get in the military, none of the branches would take me. I think I took the test for the Air Force, physical for the Army, and rejected, and talked to a Marine Corps recruiter, and he said, you can leave tomorrow. And I said, give me a week, man. Get some partying out of the way before, and I was off to Paris Island. After boot, went to Camp Lejeune, and that was just drinking, going to the club, going to Court Street. There's strip clubs, tattoo parlors, you name it. Made a lot of things go boom when I was in, but definitely got a little bit of discipline in me through there. Got married about 21. I settled down a little bit there. When I was 24, I'm guessing I started running with the EMS. I worked in factories 12, 13 years, but I always had to be on an extreme of anything. I mean, we used to go jump off of cliffs. Instead of 30, 40 cliffs, we'd be jumping off of 90-foot cliffs. I got certified scuba diving. That wasn't good enough. I had to do it with sharks. And riding in a plane wasn't good enough. I had to learn how to fly one, and just extreme stuff. But I went running with the EMS. Seen a lot of results of alcohol, pulling dead kids from pools, awful wrecks. Seen a 10-year-old boy had his head run over by a semi. Killed his mom, killed his brother, killed a truck that hit him head on. Anything after midnight was alcohol related. I mean, you'd see people with their skulls cracked open, just getting belligerent and just craziness. After that, I mean, there's suicides, you name it. I mean, it's crazy, insane. That kind of got me interested in getting into nursing. Went to school, got a college degree, as an RN for 21 years. I was still with the EMS, and I'd study while going to school. I was connected with a funeral home, going to a lot of death calls, watched a few autopsies. Addiction ain't no joke, man. You know, neither's death. I mean, what you see on TV, what you see in a coffin, someone dressed up, hair done, hands on their bellies, that ain't it. I mean, when you see someone's eyes dilate for the last time, their skin go white and pale, go check out an autopsy. You know, they make a couple cuts back here and across the back. They peel their face down, take off the top of their heads. Helped embalm a good buddy of mine. I mean, we used to steal gas together, did a lot of partying. I mean, it ain't cool. Well, yeah, it is. But all this stuff I was going through is baggage, man. You know, I mean that stuff wears on you. I probably put 70 to 100 people in bags, you know, body bags, you know, through my nursing career in the EMS. You know, it wears on you. And this baggage ended up being luggage to me. I mean, I'd carry it around. You can have baggage, but you need to get rid of it. Got about 10 years working ICU. I went through a horrible divorce, a lot of vengeance, a lot of guilt. I mean, one day I was a dad and a father, and then the next day I didn't know who I was. I mean, I wasn't any of those. I was going down a bad road, even worse, the snowball effect. Had to leave town before I did something stupid. So I did some travel nursing, spent about 4 or 5 years out in California, Arizona, doing different contracts out there. I mean, that was cool. Like at the beginning I said, if you find yourself in a hole, quit digging. I dug a big hole in 40 years of using. Big hole. Would have been a miracle if I wouldn't have become an addict or an alcoholic, and that's just the way it is. You got an alcoholic parent, drug addict parent, you got 50-60% chance of being one yourself. Throw on ADD, your chances go up more. You know, and it is a disease. You know, AMA stated it was a disease, or alcoholism was a disease in '56. I think they changed the term to substance abuse disorder now in like '86. You know, but it's a disease, man. I mean, it doesn't start off that way, but I mean, you're using that to just feel good. My old man used to tell me, if you're drinking to get drunk, you got a problem. And that goes with anything else. Daughter, Jayla, it was hard watching her. She spent like 6 months at Mayo Clinic. Watching her die, that was hard for me to take. Had big time anxiety issues, PTSD. I needed to get high. Like I said, I mean, I just started off with weed. You know, I wasn't much of any different place than any of you younger guys are now. You know, life goes by fast. I mean, if I told you guys, or if someone would have told me when I was 20 years old, that I was gonna be, that life goes by so fast, I mean, I wouldn't have believed them. And I mean, I'm about 57 now, and it was like yesterday, man. I was in my late 20s or 30s. It goes by that fast. You know, and a lot of you guys ain't gonna believe me now, but I mean, it's true. Nursing license got suspended, so I was bringing home bags of Dilaudid, fentanyl, morphine, Ativan, Valium, anything I could get my hands on. And I mean, when that supply went out, turned to speedballs, heroin, and cocaine. Yeah, I think probably when I was about 50, I was about to crash. The snowball was about to hit. I didn't want to live anymore. Hated life, hated who I became. I just, anything to knock myself out. I prayed to die. I would do just some of the craziest things. One time, I was shooting sleeping pills. I mean, I shot 21 milligrams of Ambien once. I went out instantly. Woke up hours later, man, still had a strap on my arm. My arm was huge, man. The rig was on the floor. Don't know what happened. I'd do it again. I mean, I seriously had a death wish. Still blows me away. If I wasn't high, I wasn't gonna be happy. You know, I mean, that's just the way it was. You start coming down off heroin or speedballs or whatever, you're sick. And if I wasn't high, I was miserable. I wanted to die. I mean, it just got to that extreme. So I mean, I had to be high all the time. A lot of times I just wanted to be knocked out. And a lot of times I liked it. I mean, I'd say you can't beat a daughter that'll bring you a speedball over your lunch hour. It's kind of messed up, and I do the same for her. I mean, we'd go get some dope, go find a park, jump on the Harley and ride all day. It was a blast, you know. Then you come down and you're still stuck. You're still stuck with all that baggage. Abscesses, couldn't hold a job. I mean, I lost everything. We probably went through 15 grand, I bet, in 2 months, you know, just on dope. I mean, I was down to living in a tent, pawn things, ripped everybody off that I could think of. I mean, I was done. I mean, you know, there was only one more step. I mean, I wanted to die. I post some of the craziest stuff on Facebook. I mean, my best friend finally said, "Hey, stick the barrel in your mouth, for crying out loud. You know, we're tired of hearing this." And so July 31st, 2016 was the last thing I've had in my system other than nicotine and caffeine. Didn't get busted, didn't get in trouble, but I was heading there. Checked in the Serenity House, did MRT at the Bowen Center. Take advantage of that stuff, man. Take advantage of it. I mean, it's good stuff. A lot of groups, and I had to. Did my 90 meetings in 90 days, and that got me going, it got me rolling. Still go to 3 meetings a week, love it. I had to get rid of resentments, guilt. I mean, I had to come clean with myself. I had to learn how to love myself. And it's all about God and having a spiritual walk. I mean, for me, it was like I was on God's leash. I mean, I had a lot of resentments towards the church, God, family, and I mean, I'd try to run out ahead, try to get away, and every few years, God would take that leash and jerk me back. I mean, and I was pulling until I couldn't go anymore. You know, finally, I'd give up. You know, and that's the way it is. There ain't any way I could have done it myself. I mean, I'm thoroughly convinced my brother, my mom prayed me clean, hands down. I mean, I can't imagine even the thought of going back to where I was. I needed God to take over. I asked myself sometimes, why did it take 40 years? You know, and it took 40 years for him to humble me, you know, or for me to get humbled, you know. And I mean, I can only control myself. Like I said, I can only control myself, and same with you guys. Other people aren't responsible for our emotions. I mean, I hate it when I hear something, oh, so-and-so pissed me off, you know, as if that person's responsible for your emotions, happy, sad, whatever. You know, we choose it. As far as addiction, we're all in the crosshairs of our adversaries' scope, either with addiction or whatever. And it's got one goal, and that's to bring us down. Addiction knows you and me better than it knows anybody. Addiction knows us better than our parents knows us. You know, it studied us, you know, and knows our weakest moments. We're addicts, alcoholics, and we're never gonna get to the place where we're above the fray, or that we have some kind of invisible shield around us that's gonna protect us. I mean, gotta be on guard, you know, constantly gotta be working our program. There's only one thing I had to change, and that was everything in my whole life. I mean, I've heard if you put your right shoe on, normally start putting your left shoe on. Don't go to church, go to church. I had to change my taste in women, you know. I mean, I've always been with chicks 15 years younger than me, you know, kind of the sleazy type. But everything had to change. And I mean, it works. I mean, gotta have a good sponsor. Sponsors there to help lead you. You know, they've been clean a long time. There's somebody, I mean, you can talk with. Get going to meetings. I've been going to the morning bunch group for a couple years now. I think it's probably one of the best meetings around. You get to know people. I mean, you get a good relationship with them. You make phone calls. There's still gonna be ups and downs. You can have somebody that's a drug addict or a drunk and an asshole. They quit using, you still got an asshole. You know, not using is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, I mean, you gotta learn how to live life. You know, and life is life, man. I mean, like I said, life is short. You can't waste it. Spending it being mad, argumentative, creating controversy, holding resentments, blaming others for stuff. Like I said, I had to learn to love myself, and also loving others. We all got families, you know, they love and care about us. I mean, imagine burying one of your own kids. I mean, I couldn't imagine it. And things get better. I mean, as I got my act together, it just seemed like everybody else fell in line. I mean, I burned my bridges with pretty much all my family members. I was left by myself. Me and one of my oldest daughters, we had a big falling out. I didn't see her, talk to her for probably 5 years. You know, and things coming around. We got a good relationship now. Like I said, life's too short. Seeing my granddaughters. I mean, those are the things that really mean a lot. You know, I mean, I think a lot of, kids nowadays, and I was the same way. I mean, it's all about reputation, trying to be cool and whatnot, and that ain't where it's at, man. I mean, you'll die. Hey, I'd be happy to put you in a bag if that's where you want to go. You know, it's going to happen. I can about guarantee you 1 or 2 of you people right now will be dead next year, you know, just as a result. It ain't no game. And last but not least, it's better to love than it is to be loved. It's better to give than to be getting or to receive. And it's better to serve than to be served. And one last thing I wrote a little over a year ago. Wrote, I've seen the redwoods and I've seen the sequoias, been to the Arctic Circle and foothills of the Andes Mountains, Hawaii twice, all but a couple few states, flown planes, jumped off 90-foot cliffs, scuba dived with sharks, watched autopsies, helped a good friend of mine, seen families killed, pulled dead kids from pools, probably put 70, 100 people in bags, killed a few. I'll never forget the smell of alcohol and blood. Been married and divorced once, 5 kids, 7 grandkids, 2 great grandkids. Had everything and lost everything. Stole a car, been in jail more times than I can count. 6 years in the Marine Corps, made a lot of things go boom, and almost died a couple years ago by my own hand, and presently overcoming addiction. Right now I'm loving life. There's always gonna be troubles, none which can be overcome. I give all the praises and thanks to God, my father, mom, family, and I want to change things for the world.